Hello friends, in this video the topic of discussion is objects can be used as function arguments. So objects as function arguments is the topic of discussion in this video, which will be shown with the help of an illustrative C++ program in order to make you understand the nitty-gritties into the concept. So for that we need to open the code blocks first in order to show you the example program, and line by line I will just go on to describe it, and I will explain you the concept of the object as function arguments concept. There are numerous files and folders inside it, out of which we have to open this one, object as function arguments.cbp. So double click on that. Yes, we have opened this, and I will just go on line by line to describe what is being done over here. So first we see the file inclusion directive hash include iostream, followed by using namespace std. After that I have defined a class, that is time. I have written class time, that is time is the name of the class. It has two integer variables associated with it in the private section, that is int hours comma minutes, and under the public section I have written a few functions. I've defined a few functions, that is void get time and void put time, and another function has been declared which will be also expanded or defined under the class definition. So let's go to this one first, void get time. It has two arguments, two formal arguments associated with it. Is int h and int m, and out of which this h goes to be assigned into the member variable hours, and this m will be assigned to the member variable minutes. So this is the function body of get time, that is whatever is being supplied as an actual argument when the function get time will be called with the help of an object of this class time, definitely with the help of a dot or a period operator. Then whatever will be the actual arguments will be copied respectively into hours and minutes. So after that, put time function has been defined, which is nothing but to show how many hours and how many minutes are being are in the time data. So this is nothing but the output purpose. This is for the output purpose. Put time has been defined, and after that we see that I have written a function with a return type of void. Name of the function is sum, and I have written two interesting things. Can you just see this, what I have written over here? This is the function prototype, this is the function declaration. This is not defined in the class body. It will be defined later on after the class definition, and this will easily help us to see that the arguments, the data types of the arguments is nothing but the type of class time. So there will be two data which should be supplied in terms of arguments or parameters to the sum function, and those are not any built-in data types, they are of the user defined data type class time. So these time and time means two time data will be passed on to the function sum as an argument. So we can easily infer that these time data will be nothing but objects of the class time, which should be passed when the function will be defined and when the function will be called. So now let's go to the function body after the class definition, that is here the class definition ends, and after that I have defined the sum function, which is definitely a member function of the class time, but since it is a little bit having a few lines of code in it, I didn't define it in the class body. I have defined it outside the class body, and by the help of the scope resolution operator, which helps us to see that this sum function is nothing but a member function of the class time, having a void return type and having two interesting parameters, two interesting formal arguments or formal parameters associated with it, that is time t1 and time t2. So nothing but we have created an object of time class t1 and we also created an object t2 of the class time. So two objects are created and passed as an argument, as a formal argument to the function definition sum. So this is there lies the essence of the concept of objects as function arguments, which is the topic of discussion in this video. So after that, I've written a few lines of code over here. As you can see that I have just added the 2 minutes data, that is t1 dot minutes and t2 dot minutes. Whatever minutes are there in t1 and t2 are to be added, and the sum is to be assigned to minutes, and whatever is the value of hours will be divided into divided by 60 in order to get the value of hours. Suppose this minutes can assume a value of say more than 60, that it can assume a value of 80. So 80 divided by 60 will give you 1 hour to this hour variable, and that 1 hour will go to be assigned in the variable hours, leaving behind this next line's operation, that is the minutes percent 60, that is minutes modulo 60, that is whatever will be the remainder from the division operation of minutes by 60 will be assigned to the variable minutes, and that is for the sake of simplicity, let us understand that these two add up to say about 80, and 80 divided by 60 means 1 will be assigned to hours, and 20 will be the remainder, and 20 will be assigned to minutes. And after that, there is the final line of this function, that is hours is equal to hours plus t1 dot hours plus t2 dot hours. That is, whatever is the hour value of t1 and whatever is the hour value of t2 will be added together, and the sum will be added to whatever is the value of hours which has been obtained by in this line. In this line, the cursor is blinking beside this line. I am just I try to min this line. Hours is equal to minutes by 60. So whatever value is in hours, that is, it can be a value of 0, it can be a value of 1, and it can be a value of 2 also. Anything can be, I think it will not be 2, because 60 plus 60 modulo 60 will give minutes, t1 dot minutes plus t2 dot minutes will give definitely a value of something like that, about some data will be like this, suppose 5 hours 40 minutes and 3 hours 30 minutes or something like that. There will be no such values like 5 hours 60 minutes and 3 hours 60 minutes or 3 hours 70 minutes. So there is no question of getting 2 in this hours. So there will be only 2 possibilities, that is, we can get only 0 over here, we can get only 1 over here, and whatever is in the value of hours by this line will be added to the sum of t1 dot hours and t2 dot hours, and will be assigned to hours finally. So this is the function definition of sum. Let's go to the main section and see what we have done over here. I have created 3 objects of the class time, capital T1, capital T2, capital T3, and I have supplied data values or time data values to T1 with the help of the function getTime. T1 dot getTime 2, 40 and T2 dot getTime 3, 40 to be assigned to the respective hours and minutes variables of this T1 object and this T2 object. So let's go to this getTime function in order to make you understand clearly what I am trying to say. Suppose we go to this one. Suppose getTime has 2 arguments. I have called suppose T1 dot getTime with 2 and 40. So what is the actual argument? What are the actual arguments? 2 and 40 are the actual arguments for the getTime function, and the formal arguments 2 will be copied to h, the formal argument h, and this minute data, that is 40, will be copied to the formal argument m, and this h will be assigned to the data member hours and m will be assigned to the data member minutes. T1 object, that is capital T1, which is the object, gets a data value of 2 and 40, that is gets a time data of 2 hours 40 minutes, and T2 also likewise gets the time data to be 3 hours 30 minutes. Now let us call the sum function by this line T3 dot sum T1 T2. Point to be noted again, object as function arguments. So see, we are calling the function sum with the help of the actual arguments, which are nothing but objects themselves. So this is the concept of the objects as function arguments reiterated over here. And let me just give a comment in order to make it explicitly visible to you. That is objects function arguments, which is the topic of discussion in this video. So T1 goes with 2 hours 40 minutes, T2 takes its value with it, that is 3 hours 30 minutes. We go to the sum function. Let us perform the calculations over here. Let's see what will be the result which we will be obtaining from this function sum. T1 dot minutes, that is 40 plus 30, will be added to become 70. 70 will be divided by 60 in order to assign 2 hours, and this operation will keep 10 in minutes. So minutes will be updated to 10 and hours is now having a value of 1. After that, T1 dot hours and T2 dot hours will be added to this hours to make it how much? That is 1 is already in the hours. After that 2 will be added and 3 will be added to it. That is 1 plus 2 is 3 plus 3 means 6. So hours will have a final value of 6 and minutes will have a final value of 10. So our expected result will be for T1, it will be nothing but 2 hours 40 minutes from the put time function, because put time function shows in this manner hours and minutes. So what will be the output from T1 dot put time? It will be 2 hours and 40 minutes. For T2 dot put time, for T1 dot put time, it will be 2 hours 40 minutes, 2 hours and 40 minutes as I have written over here. For T2 it will be 3 hours and 30 minutes, and whatever is for T3 I have also printed, that is the result of the addition of the two time data T1 and T2, which is being stored in the object T3. So this T3 is equal to will be 6 hours and 10 minutes. So our output will be like this. So let's go to build and run and see whether we have got the desired output. So let's go to build and run. We see that the output comes up. Just let me drag it a little beside to the right side in order to see what we have got over here. T1 is equal to 2 hours and 40 minutes, T2 is equal to 3 hours and 30 minutes, T3 is equal to 6 hours and 10 minutes, exactly what we have expected it to be. And from there we can see the implementation of the concept of objects as function arguments in C++. So I hope it is very much clear to you, and still if you have any doubts and queries pertaining to this entire example, you can well post your doubts and queries into the comment section below so that I can address them. Thanks for watching this video, and please don't forget to like, share and subscribe